Previously on Fiction Addiction.
Edutainment game! No!
And now, back to Fiction Addiction. Oh, yeah. Hi there, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry I seem a little out of it, but YouTube is still all up in my business about being a wholesome and family-friendly channel, so today we're going to have to take a look at an educational video game. I don't know how common these are anymore, but I'm sure a fair few people my age remember the era of edutainment video games. Basically, teachers and other companies figured that if they couldn't beat these newfangled beep-boop games that were so obviously making the kids dumber because fun is evil, they might as well join them. And so, games were soon created with the explicit purpose of teaching kids anything from math, to history, to vocabulary, or even a bit of everything all at once, since it had to fit within a school curriculum. And 9 times out of 10, they sucked! Oh sure, there are a few great examples out there, and some have become fondly remembered classics, and it's not like the idea of using games to teach is inherently bad by any means. But while I didn't personally play a lot of them, my experience with these types of games is that the people making them kinda forgot or plain didn't care about actually making the game part any fun to play. Which of course led to the supposed games either turning into glorified interactive textbooks, filling themselves to the brim with frankly condescending wackiness while forcing kids to take quizzes, or just being outright broken, buggy, ugly messes that not even most teachers could possibly justify making their students play. So, alright, I guess we better get this over with. What are we playing, oh mighty tube of you? Oh my god, it's Pink Panther Passport to Peril. I played the crap out of this game as a kid. I loved it. Holy shit, did I just log out. Alright, I know you want me to talk about the game, but let's stop for a second and talk about Pink himself. I'm sure you're familiar with him, he's been around for decades, and even if you don't know the character, you definitely know the theme song. But just who is the Pink Panther exactly? Well, it might surprise you, but he originally wasn't even conceived as a cartoon character per se. The Pink Panther is the name of the titular coveted diamond from the 1963 comedy spy film The Pink Panther, starring Peter Sellers as the bumbling Inspector Clouseau, who usually tries to recover or protect the gem from sneaky thieves. Back then, movies placed their credits at the start of the film, and in Pink Panther's case, they came up with representing the diamond as a cartoon panther messing around during the credits, set to the now iconic theme composed by Henry Mancini. This turned out to be so popular that every one of the many sequels had an animated credit sequence, often with the Inspector character chasing him around. From here, the Pink Panther spun off into several animated shorts, television shows, and even a few video games. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the rest of the video, but as I was looking up the Pink Panther's history and animation, I happened to find a cartoon by Hanna-Barbera called The Sons of the Pink Panther. The show itself kinda looks like ass, but I just want to take a second to appreciate how groovy this theme song is.
Sons of the Panther, sons of the Panther, alright. Whoa. It's the sons of the Panther, the Pink Panther, alright.
Man, check out the swagger on this dude. Imagine having half this much confidence. What a fucking king. Keep working those hips, my man. I'm proud of you. However, the new Pink Panther show did get popular enough to get 2 video game spin-offs. Those are Pink Panther Passport to Peril, released for PC back in 1996, and its sequel, Hocus Pocus Panther, which released 2 years later in 1998. Like I said, I played these games to hell and back as a kid. Anytime I found them at my local library, I just had to get them, because I found the graphics, the voices, and the humor so incredibly charming. So, lean back everybody, we're gonna play ourselves some Pink Panther Passport to Peril. In this game, Pink is a secret agent working directly under Inspector Clouseau, and he's just been assigned an important mission as camp counselor at the children's camp Chiliwawa. But Chiliwawa is not any normal old summer camp. In fact, all the children hail from different nations and are either related to powerful political figures or simply very intelligent prodigy children, and are all gathered to promote and discuss the future prospects of world peace between nations. Panther's task is to ensure that they have a good time to avoid conflict between their parents, which basically means he's a glorified babysitter. But things soon begin to go awry at Chiliwawa. Soon after a visit from the suspicious Better Camping Bureau, portrayed by the Dogfather Puck and Louie from the 1993 cartoon, the children start behaving irritably, claiming they hate each other and the camp. It's now up to Panther to figure out what caused this change in attitude and fix it before any major international incidents happen. Which he does by traveling to each of the kids' native countries and learning about their individual cultural backgrounds, of course. Now, we can get into the overall setup, the story, and the locations you visit in a moment, but oh my god, can we take a second to appreciate how this game looks? The game is a classic cartoony point-and-click adventure game, sporting lovely hand-drawn sprite graphics, and even today I think it looks great. Sure, actual character animation and cutscenes tend to consist of a few repeated frames, but just look at these backgrounds. Look how colorful everything is. Look at all these varied and cartoony looking characters. This game is just a joy to look at. Now, I imagine you're wondering how this cartoony looking point-and-click adventure starring the Pink Panther is supposed to teach anyone anything. But it actually has a fair few handy tools to do so. Like I already mentioned, every kid at camp who you spend a brief moment at the beginning of the game getting to know comes from a different country. And as the game progresses, you visit each place for various reasons. There you end up having to solve a series of little puzzles or finding people who are willing to help you go where you need to be. And you do it all by listening to what they tell you, observing how they operate within their individual cultures, and applying it in the right places in order to interact properly with people. With a healthy helping of cartoon logic thrown in for fun and good measure, of course.
Mites don't fail me now.
And do you remember how I said that many of these games tended to come across as little more than interactive textbooks? Well, this game does have that, but it's totally up to you whether or not you want to use it. See, the obligatory wacky adventure at the camp, Von Schmarty, outfits Pink with a PDA, which stands for Pink Digital Assistant Hardy Har, which he can not only use as a video phone, but also use to look up articles on just about anything he comes across in the game. Insert smartphone joke here. The best part is, you don't even have to search through it manually, although doing so treats you to hub menus full of fun-looking cartoon mascots. In a really cool feature that I barely utilized when I played it as a kid, you can right-click most objects you see. Doing this prompts a voice that briefly tells you what you're looking at and makes the PDA icon appear, which instantly takes you to a text article about that particular subject. So if you're interested and you want to learn more the old-fashioned way, boom, there's your chance. Right-clicking on things has multiple purposes too. Sometimes it'll teach you a little factoid about the thing you're clicking, sometimes it'll give you a little hint on how to progress, and sometimes it just decides to be a snarky little asshole.
This is a stuffed panda. Pandas spend most of their time asleep, but this panda can't because he has no eyelids. This man is drinking Chang. It's an alcoholic drink that relaxes him, but it doesn't make him a better archer. This is a shisha. It's a water pipe for smoking tobacco, but it won't fit in your pocket like a pack of cigarettes. This woman has no idea how to accessorize.
What a vicious little bastard! It's like having a dry British pet comedian in your pocket at all times, and I love it. To really illustrate just how this game teaches you various things though, I think it's best if we just go through the whole game from start to finish, location by location. It all begins when Nigel, the shy British boy, claims to be homesick, and you decide to go to Britain to fetch some of his favorite things. After meeting one of Nigel's friends in London, you learn that his family estate's butler, Michael Jackson,
My full name is Michael Cuthbert Jackson, but please don't ask me to do Billie Jean.
frequents a pub called the Mucky Duck, where you can spend a little bit of time interacting with everyone, learning some of the smaller, subtler differences between Britain and the US. Like how a police officer is called a bobby, what bangers and mash are, and so on.
That's not football.
It's a ball game played with your foots. Football.
That game is not called football.
Right then, what is it?
Soccer! Soccer! Oh, brother.
Violence against women is hilarious!
I'm the team hooker.
Beg pardon? Team what say?
Now, Pink, don't judge. We gotta keep the players motivated somehow. Unfortunately, we can't talk to Jackson just yet because his darts partner is in the way. Oh, this dude looks cockney as fuck. I mean, I've gotta talk to him. I'm sure he says something we can make fun of.
Oh, we got a bloody comedian on our hands here. That tall pink comedian with a tail.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean no disrespect, sir. Just please stop yelling at me. When you finally get this guy to fuck off and talk to Jackson, he tells you about the tradition of burning Guy Fawkes dolls on the 5th of November, in reference to the attempt to blow up Parliament back in 1605. Nigel, however, really likes his Guy Fawkes doll and has never been able to get himself to burn it. Aww. So you get to Nigel's family mansion, and after disguising yourself as a fine British gentleman, you sneak in there to find Nigel's Guy Fawkes puppet, which then leads to a run-in with Puck and Louie at Stonehenge when they steal your fur. Once you get your fur back with the clever application of a mirror, you then get a call from Von Schmarty. This time Chione, the Egyptian girl, has apparently stolen one of the camp's hoverboards and is headed for home. And since, according to her, her name means the daughter of the Nile, that's where Von Schmarty suggests you go look.
Check along the river for her.
Along the river? The Nile is 4,163 miles long.
Yeah, so you better get started.
So off you go to Egypt where you meet... Oh no! Oh dear.
Get your camels here! Make a nice deal today only. Who loves the tourist, baby?
Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I think we can all agree that this is less than great. Well, ignoring the unfortunate design for a moment, this guy is named Mouth, and you have to convince him to let you ride his camel so he can take you to the Nile. In order to do this, you end up having to give him food, coffee, and a rock for his camel, all found through a chain of deals at the market in Cairo. Oh, sweet! Check it out! That guy sells oil lamps! Hey, I wonder if...
Do I have a magic lamp? You just saw Aladdin, and you're looking for your very own genie, complete with a name, voice, talent. Welcome to reality. There's no 3 wishes. There's no Robbie Williams. There's plain brass pots and hot sun. What can I get you?
Sir, please stop yelling at me!
Cynic.
But you lied! You lied to me! You're a lying liar that lies! Eventually you get to the river and sail down to a little farmer's hut, where you have what might be the most bizarre encounter with Puck and Louie in the entire game.
Away from the salad! Away!
I gotta get it, man. I'm starving.
No!
Perfectly good salad gone to waste.
And here my mom always told me that salad was healthy. You also meet a pigeon from back in New York who gives you a letter from Chione, though it's written in hieroglyphics, so you can't read it. When you get a local girl to translate, it says Chione is having a great time at camp, which doesn't quite add up with what Von Schmarty told you earlier. Curious. Back at camp, things are looking a bit more grim, and Nigel's reaction to seeing his beloved Guy Fawkes doll is, somewhat out of character. On top of that, Young Lee has started to angrily shout a random Chinese phrase over and over again. So off to China we go to learn what the heck he's saying. Once there, we get mistaken for a Chinese opera star and oh god damn it! Oh man, alright, yeah, these caricatures here are, let's just say, less than great. That's absolutely true. But I think since the games are usually very good about portraying each culture as accurately as possible, it's just meant to be cartoony exaggeration rather than anything deliberately offensive, but that has not aged well. At all. A few obligatory kung fu movie dubbing jokes later, we find out that these theater guys are part of Young Lee's family, who teach you a few things about Chinese family dynamics and customs if you take the time to talk to them when you go for a visit. Hey, what's that picture on the wall?
No.
My fault for asking, I guess. It turns out that Young Lee's father is a rice farmer, so off you go to the farms to ask what that weird phrase Young Lee keeps saying means. Well, after solving a few other problems, of course. Ones that your own dumbass caused in the first place. Sorry about that, lady. Anyway, Young Lee's father happily informs you that not only does Young Lee speak 4 languages, his best one being English, that phrase he's been saying actually means...
Mean? I'm glad to pay you on Tuesday for 1 hamburger today. Huh?
Right, that's it. I've had all I can stand and I can't stand no more. So yeah, that certainly doesn't answer many questions. But we can't go back to Chiliwawa just yet, because a very upset Indrani, the girl from India, calls us on the PDA. And you can tell she's upset because she's turned into an anime.
I meant to bring marigolds to my grandfather's grave before I left. Please, he's buried in a Hindu graveyard in my hometown, Varanasi. Will you bring him flowers for me?
The trip to India is cut short, however, when Louis and Puck hijack the plane, which forces Pink to take the parachute, then conveniently land in Bhutan, where another camper named Ananda comes from. You end up getting roped into taking part in an archery contest, and again you have to do a chain of deals to get yourself a bow and arrow. Or, well, you trade the arrow for the bow, so it's time for some creative problem solving. Oh, sweet! Always nice to see another Hot Shots 2 fan. The king of Bhutan, impressed with your skill, offers to have his helicopter take you to India. But someone has stolen the rotor. Turns out it's actually the leader of the archery team who tried to make you stay in Bhutan to play for them forever. But, wait a second, he was there. He was right there the whole time during the archery contest. He's standing there, he's watching me do it, like, how the hell did he... He would have to be in two places at once, but he couldn't have. Or could he? So finally we make it to India. We just haven't made it to Varanasi quite yet. And let me tell ya, by kids game standards, the India chapter is it's a lot. It's easily the longest and most convoluted part of the game. First, we need to figure out how to get to Varanasi at all. This guy doesn't seem to know. At least not until you get this other guy to explain that shaking your head and nodding have opposite meanings in India. But you can only do that by putting jasmine in his bowl, and you don't have any money to buy them from the flower shop.
If you can charm the snake as well as I do, you can have some of my wife's flowers for free.
Oh, sweet! That solves all of my problems. It's a deal, man.
I charmed your husband's snake, so to speak.
Not so easy to do.
Whoa, lady, that sounds like a you and your husband problem. I'm just here for the flowers. So this dude tells us to take the train, but looky, it's Puck and Louie causing trouble again, stranding us in a small village where we meet a kind family that invites us to join them for dinner. We just need to help them get a little milk from the family cow first.
Mother!
Yes, dear.
We need some milk for tonight's supper.
Of course, dear.
What, the cow is named Mother? I'm a little weird, but okay.
Would you like to milk, Mother?
Well, hey, look, I already tamed one husband snake today. I'm not milking anybody named Mother.
Milk the cow!
Why is everyone in this game yelling at me? Thankfully, the father of the family agrees to take you to Varanasi, where you soon learn that there is no such thing as a Hindu graveyard, since the Hindu people spread the ashes of their dead in the Ganges River. Still, Pink is a good guy and throws some marigolds in there anyway. But how come Indrani didn't know that? The plot thickens. Well, we don't really have time to think about it. Camp Chiliwawa is in a worse state than ever, and even Von Schmarty has started acting all hostile. Following some animal tracks to the hangar, we jump on the plane for Australia, where camper Komokin comes from. And then another half-assed Puck and Louie hijacking forces us to take the parachute again. A kind Aboriginal man helps pull us out of the water, and after spending some time in the wild, we find out that he is Komokin's father, because this game is just kind of convenient like that. After teaching us about concepts like Aboriginal Dreamtime and totem animals, Komokin, actually transformed into the crocodile that is his totem, appears to warn us that the camp is in danger. So back we go for a final confrontation with the dog father. As it turns out, everything that's happened was his doing all along. He secretly replaced the kids with robots that were programmed to hate camp, all in an effort to shut the place down, buy the land and build one of his crappy dog burger restaurants instead. Which I kind of suspected by the time the kids' faces started falling off and the dog father did this. But, you know, kids game plot. With a bit of a creative use of Von Schmarty's super vacuum, Pink catches the bad guys, sucks up the polluted water in the lake, and finds all the kids trapped inside a bubble underneath the surface. And just like that, they're all free once more. Pink is hailed as a hero, and he's ready to go off on his next adventure. Man, what a great game. It's bright and colorful, it's fun to play, it's funny, you visit a lot of varied locations, and all the puzzles are just involved enough that the kids playing will no doubt feel accomplished when they solve them. And, most importantly, it's a great educational game. I'm sure you know the stereotypes of edutainment. It's just cartoony characters spewing random trivia at you that it expects you to remember, right? And, well, yes, that's true on occasion of this game as well. Now, stuff like that is not bad in and of itself, but I would argue that it doesn't really give a child a reason to retain anything they've learned during the game. Whereas in this one, the plot most certainly does, because paying attention to how each culture actually works is crucial to Pink figuring out what's going on back at camp. The best example of this is without a doubt Indrani, who very proudly tells you that she knows just about everything about Hindu culture when you first meet her, yet demands that you put marigolds on a grandfather's grave in a Hindu graveyard until you go there and find out that no such thing exists. It's pretty brilliant, really. Now, don't think I don't see you out there. Those of you who have played this game before must be tearing your hair out, screaming at the top of your lungs for me to cover a major aspect of the game already. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten, I was just saving it for last. After all, there's no way to play Pink Panther Passport to Peril without mentioning the musical numbers. What is children's edutainment media without songs? We all know they're gonna be there, we all expect them, but in few cases have they ever been quite as good as they are in Pink Panther Passport to Peril. Every location you visit has a character singing a song about a particular aspect of the country you're in. In fact, India gets 2 of them, and they're absolutely delightful. There's even a jukebox you can access at any time to listen to them whenever you want, which is a neat feature. Sure, the animated music videos that go with them are a bit primitive and reuse gags and footage all the time, and these aren't exactly toe tappers that you'll scramble to find on Spotify or anything. But for educational songs made for a children's PC game, they went above and beyond in making them informative, catchy, and fun. Well, that is when they aren't being horribly sad! The first few songs are just fun little factoids, but by the time you make it to India, you hear someone advising you to go visit the Taj Mahal. You are then taught about how the Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan in memory of his deceased wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died during childbirth in 1631. All in song, of course. And good lord, they did not need to go that hard.
And this emperor couldn't stop his tears. The news confirmed his darkest fears. His childhood love, his lifelong friend, he would never see again. And jewels and marble stones couldn't bring his lost my home.
Yeah, laugh it off, but Christ! You play this game as an 8-year-old and try to make it through this part without losing it. And I haven't even mentioned the Australian Dreamtime song, which is just a beautiful piece about embracing cultural heritage. Or the Bhutan song, which doesn't so much teach you anything about Bhutan itself, as it tells you not to force Western values onto a culture that hasn't asked for them.
In time, in Bhutan, we may change in time. In time, in Bhutan, we have done just fine. Do not define what should be our ambitions. We're more concerned with unbroken traditions.
This game goes places in its music, man. Everyone just went all out on this. Especially the guy who sings about the Indian caste system. That guy is having a fucking party and everyone is invited. Yes, you heard that correctly. There is a song about the Indian caste system. And that's just a little taste of one of the other impressive aspects of the game. Namely how it doesn't hold back on addressing certain issues in each individual culture. The caste system song, for example, even tells you outright that, laws aside, discrimination is not dead. And it happens wherever you live too.
You'd be dead wrong if you assume discrimination was a thing of the past. Think about the place that you call home. Who are your outcasts?
Followed by the game directly addressing the separate issue of gender discrimination.
Please, there is still very much discrimination here, particularly against women of all castes.
And this little nugget regarding the mistreatment of native Australians by European colonists.
It was not so long ago that white men took our children from us, forced us to live on reserves, took us there in chains, beat us for speaking our language and for practicing our religions, infected us with their foreign diseases, broke our spirit.
Nothing gets brushed aside here. This game presents these countries and cultures to you, warts and all, to make you realize just how big the world is and just how much still needs to be worked on. And I commend it for having the balls to do so in a children's game where they could have very easily skipped it. Alright, things got a little heavy there, so let's just end things on a light note. There is one more song that you can't access via the jukebox and that you have to finish the game in order to hear. And it's easily the worst song in the whole freaking game. The kids can't sing for crap, the imagery is way too saccharine, and worst of all, it has rapping Nigel. Oh god, it's like listening to Diddy Kong. Oh well, sugary as it is pretty cute to see the kids in a conga like, whoa, fun smarty, watch where you put those hands, buddy! Overall, I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say that Pink Panther Passport to Peril may well be one of the most forward-thinking and, dare I say, progressive edutainment games of the era.
Get your camels here!
Well, certain glaring missteps aside, that is. I mean, when you get down to it, it's not even that much of a geography lesson, really. It's much more about acceptance, respect, and togetherness across various nations of the world. Remember, the entire plot of the game is that a bunch of international prodigy children are going to discuss world peace. One of the very first things you see in camp is this.
Interesting. Though that's not how we do it in my country.
Yeah, I'd like to visit your country someday.
I insist you stay with my family when you do.
God, if only the adults could keep things that simple, huh? Now, of course, there are some things you can nitpick at in this game if you absolutely must. Like, the puzzles are incredibly easy, for example, since you're usually only carrying like 3 items at a time, but then the game is intended for young children, so I don't really think that accounts for much. And yeah, I make fun of how sugary the ending song and its imagery is, but I'm pretty sure that's actually supposed to be a joke. The one real downside is that, given that the game is 25 years old by now, it's full of outdated information. Mumbai is still called Bombay, for instance, and there is an entire song about the now abolished Chinese one-child policy, but really, that's just to be expected. But that doesn't change that this game is a real adventure full of laughs, facts, and solid moral lessons that promote working towards a more unified future. How this game is as overlooked as it is beyond me, really. And again, maybe it's my nostalgia speaking, but personally, I think it holds up beautifully. Like I mentioned, there does exist a sequel, Hocus Pocus Panther, released 2 years later. I don't recall it having quite as, in lack of a better word, deep moral lessons, but I adored that game too. And we're definitely gonna cover that in a future video sometime as well. For now, I just hope you enjoyed this journey across the world and that you all remember to treat each other well despite your initial differences. See you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Oh boy, thanks for listening to me nerd out about the Pink Panther of all things. I'm sorry this video took a while, guys, but I hope to pick up the pace from here. If you liked the video, don't forget to click the like button and perhaps leave a comment telling me about some of the educational games you remember from your childhood, because, let's be real, we all played at least a few of them. Special thanks, as always, go to Warren Miller, Silvermoon Ravenwolf, Eli Cat, Pocket Mouse, and all my other patrons. It really does mean the world to me, you guys, so thanks a lot. And if you want to support me as well, you can find links to my Ko-fi and Patreon pages in the description below, as well as one to my Discord server, which you're more than welcome to join. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and be the first to know whenever another video drops. See you there, folks!